So Battlefield wants to release games on a yearly cycle. You guys heard that right. They want to become the next Call of Duty. But here's the problem. This exact strategy is what has been killing Call of Duty slowly over the last decade. And now Battlefield wants to follow in those same footsteps. Honestly, this is a recipe for disaster. And I'm going to break down why a yearly release cycle is one of the worst decisions that DICE and EA could make for Battlefield. There's been recent reports that have surfaced that EA wants Battlefield to become a yearly franchise, new releases every single year, just like Call of Duty. Supposedly, this is to keep the franchise relevant and consistent in the FPS space, which might sound good on paper, but in reality, we already know that it's the exact opposite of what Battlefield needs right now. Of course, you got Battlefield 2042, which was a disaster, and it was missing features, riddled with bugs, and it lost a significant chunk of the player trust and even count. The game only started recovering much later, but the damage, of course, we've already seen was already done. And now, instead of slowing down and focusing on making a great game with Battlefield 6 and future titles, hopefully, EA wants to pump them out yearly. And that is a giant red flag. I mean, Battlefield has always been different from Call of Duty. Where Call of Duty focuses on the fast-paced arcade style, Battlefield's strength has been the large-scale warfare, the teamwork, destruction, the immersion, all that stuff we already know, right? It's never about cranking out the games quickly. It was about delivering these big, memorable, long-lasting experiences. And that's why you got games like Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, and even Bad Company 2 that are still talked about even today. And they lasted. They had that staying power. But again, if you want to go to the yearly releases that Battlefield wants to implement, I hope this is not true and I hope they change their mind. Battlefield will risk losing the identity entirely. But let's talk about Call of Duty, because this is the prime example why yearly releases don't work in the long run. Sure, yeah, Call of Duty is massive, but over the years, we've seen exactly what happens when a franchise is forced into a strict 1-year cycle. The games launch half-baked. The content is recycled, innovation is thrown out the window, and it's sacrificed for these deadlines. And of course, the most important, players get fatigued. I mean, think about it. How many Call of Duty games are actually remembered long term? Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2, maybe a few others. But a lot of entries like Ghost, Infinite Warfare, Vanguard, forgotten. Why? Because there's no time for these developers to even breathe. No time for the community to settle in. No time for developers to innovate. And absolutely no time to polish the game before the next one is shoved out the door. And that's exactly what Battlefield risks. Instead of delivering a well-crafted game every 3 to 4 years, they're going to flood the market, dilute their own brand, and guarantee that half of their games will be rushed freaking disasters. I mean, just look at Call of Duty's launch issues. You got server crashes, broken spawns, recycled maps, unfinished content. You got reiterated content in the game as well. That just is like, really? They just put this in the previous game and now we have it again? There's no, again, innovation. Do we really want Battlefield to go through the exact same thing? Here's the key difference. Call of Duty can barely get away with yearly releases because it has a massive player base, 3 different development studios, and a huge amount of marketing. Even then, the quality is still bad. I mean, it suffers, right? Battlefield doesn't have that luxury. It doesn't have the 3 separate studios cranking out titles on rotation. It doesn't have the same player loyalty anymore after 2042. If they rush games every year, it won't just hurt, it could kill the franchise completely. Battlefield needs time to innovate, whether it's the destruction physics, the large scale maps, the vehicle combat, and these things take years to design, test, and balance. And if they try to do all of that on a yearly cycle, can you imagine how that's going to turn out? You're going to get a shallow, unfinished game with features stripped out, and it'll just be another 2042 situation all over again. Another big problem is trust. The Battlefield community already doesn't trust EA after years of mistakes. If they start dropping yearly titles, players will immediately assume every launch will just be a buggy, broken mess. And that kills the hype. That kills the excitement. And without excitement, you don't have a healthy community. Instead of creating that longevity, yearly releases will actually burn out the fan base faster. So what should Battlefield do instead? Easy. Slow down, take their time, deliver one amazing game that can last years, and support it with these consistent updates. I mean, look at Battlefield 4. That game had a rough launch, sure, but with time, it became one of the most beloved entries in the franchise. Players stuck around for years because it was that good. That's what Battlefield needs. It needs long-term quality experiences and not rushed yearly cash grab. Look at games like Rainbow Six Siege or even Halo MCC. After its fixes, long-term support builds communities. Battlefield doesn't need to compete with Call of Duty by copying their model. They need to compete by being different, by focusing on scale, immersion, destruction, and most importantly, longevity. At the end of the day, a yearly Battlefield is a terrible idea. It's a short-term money play that will destroy the franchise in the long run. And Battlefield, again, isn't Call of Duty, and it shouldn't try to be. What it needs is that patience, innovation, and most importantly, community trust. If EA wants to push for a yearly release, they'll be making the exact same mistake that Activision makes, and Battlefield might not survive it. So let me ask you guys, do you think Battlefield can actually pull off yearly releases, or is this the beginning of the end for this franchise? But I want to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Do you guys think that this could be one of the biggest mistakes EA has ever made or is going to make, because it's not set in stone yet, but again, they're talking about doing this, which again, like I said before, is not a good idea. But let me know all you guys' thoughts down again in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you guys hit that like button. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the bell to be notified every single time I upload a video. Now with that being said, this is GCP signing off.